Welcome to the session of software testing. In this lecture, we are going to see about the introduction of software testing. Before that, let me introduce myself. I am Dr. S. Umarani, Associate Professor, Department of IT, Erode Sangamundra Engineering College. So, before seeing on to the introduction of software testing, we need to know how the testing is used as an engineering activity. How the testing is used in engineering activity. So, what is an engineering? Engineering is an application of everything. It is an application of mathematics, scientific, economic, social, and the practical knowledge to whatever the design we are constructing, and all the research process that is to be improved inside an organization, the machines, tools, and everything. So building a software system is becoming more difficult. So to build an equipped software development process, there is a pressure to the software experts to concentrate more on quality of the software, and the need to rectify the issues raised in dealing with the quality of a software. So the highly skilled professional engineers should be recruited for developing a software product, and they should guarantee for the quality based upon the schedule, and it should be within the budget, and it should attain a best standards in terms of the quality like dependability, correctness, usability, and the capacity to satisfy all the user needs. Some of the statements are to be followed while developing a software activity in an engineering. So development process should be well understood, and the project should be planned. The life cycle model should be well defined, and it is to be followed throughout the project. The standard should be in a place for both product and a process. Measurement is to be made in the basis of quality of a product and a process. The components used in the product or a process should be reused. The validation and verification should be done at the entire stage of the software development process, and this plays a main role in determining a quality. And finally, the engineer should have the necessary education, experience, and certification related to the software project we are using. Then we need to see how the testing is used as a process in a software development process. So it is a combination of phases, procedures, and steps. So when we use all these sort of things, it will result in a quality software product. Generally, testing is described as a group of procedures that is carried out to evaluate some aspects of a software. In other terms, this testing can be referred to as a process. What it will do is, with the help of a testing, we can identify the software defects present in the software. We can identify the defects. In terms, we can say that as the failure or some error. So only when we identify a defect, we can improve the quality of the software project. The testing objective is, the two main criteria is to be followed while making a testing. One is verification and another one is validation. Validation and verification both are a process of evaluating a software system or a component. What the validation will do is, it will determine whether the product is in a particular development phase that meets the that meets the conditions which we set at the starting of the phase. While during the starting of the phase, we will be doing a validation. And verification, it will also evaluate the software system at the end of the development phase. So what it will do is, it will verify whether the particular software met all the customer requirements. Generalizedly, we can say validation, are we building the right product, and in verification, are we building the right product. Then we need to know what is the difference between a basic debugging process and a testing. In testing, we are going to determine, if it is a code, we are going to determine whether that code contains error. Whereas in case of debugging, you are going to locate the errors or you are going to fix it. Debugging is otherwise called as a fault localization. The debugging process begins after the testing has been carried out. With the help of testing, you will be finding the errors, and with the help of debugging, you are going to rectify the errors that is found in the testing phase. There is 9 testing axioms that is to be followed while a developer has completed the process. One is, it is impossible to test a program completely. Number 2 axiom is, software testing is a risk-based exercise. Testing cannot show the absence of bugs. the more bugs we find, the more bugs there are. Not all the bugs found will be fixed. It is difficult to say when a bug is indeed a bug. Specifications are never final. The software testers are not the most popular members of the project. Software testing is a discipline and technical profession. The first one is, it is impossible to test a program completely. So, you cannot able to test the entire program completely. You cannot able to have that much cases of test cases, and we cannot have many number of inputs for testing the programs. And second point is, software testing is a risk-based exercises. We are not testing the software against the input. So when we are testing the software against all the variety of inputs, it will have a risk. So we need to skip some of the inputs. We want to check with most of the inputs that we are going to give in a day-to-day life. And also, if you are making a poor testing, it will increases the software bugs. So the software bugs can cost a lot of time to rectify. Third point is, testing cannot show the absence of bugs. When we are testing a program, in some cases the bugs will be considered as a lower level bugs, and those are acceptable at some cases. So the program testing can be used to show the presence of bugs, but never to show their absence. So even we have done a thorough testing, we cannot say that the product is 100% defect free. So when you test the same product which is a defect free, it will produce some sort of errors, but those errors are acceptable errors. Then fourth point is, the more bugs you find, the more bugs there are. So according to the Boris Beizzer, he defined that pesticide paradox, a term called as pesticide paradox. What that will do, that will describe is, it will describe the concept that more we test the software, the more immune it becomes to your test cases. So when we are testing the software again and again, it will produce more and more errors only. So the remedy of this is, continually we need to write new and different tests to exercise different parts of the software, such that you can reduce the defects in a software product or a process. Then fifth one is, not all bugs found will be fixed. So it's not really we are fixing all the bugs, because understanding is different for all the parts of the people. So it cannot be really a bug, and the specification given can be wrong. It cannot be attained during the software development lifecycle phases, and the bugs are really not worth. So in these cases, we cannot able to fix the bugs. Then sixth point is, it is difficult to say when a bug is indeed a bug. So if there is a problem with the software that no one finds it, is it a bug? So well, we are developing a testing, whatever it is, either it is a unit testing or integration testing, we are not finding a bugs in a modules. So we are just considering those bugs as the acceptable bugs. So those are considered as acceptable bugs, and you can carry out with the all other phases such that you can say that software is a bug free. So a parody of, when a tree falls in a forest, it does not really make a sound. So in a big forest, if a single tree falls, it will not create a sound. In such a way, you want to consider it is a bigger program. A smaller acceptable bug will not affect any other part of the program. In that manner, you want to consider that it is difficult to say when a bug is indeed a bug. Then specifications are never final. While we are building a product based upon moving target specification, it is fairly unique to software development that the specifications will be varied at the end of the stage. Then some of the basic definitions, those are all things that is to be followed in testing, that is testing axioms. Then some of the technical words that is to be used in a software testing. First one is errors. What is an error? It is a mistake, or you can say it is a misunderstanding on a part of a software developer. Different peoples will consider a particular process in different manner. So you can say it is a misunderstanding or misconception on a part of a software development. So the developer may misunderstand a design notation, or a program might incorrectly type a variable name, or the error guessing has no rules for testing. So the tester, with the help of the previous skills, consider this as some sort of error. So these are the things. So error is generally a mistake or misunderstanding. Then fault. fault, it is otherwise called as a defects or bugs. A fault is introduced in a software as a result of an error. So, you can say this is a software anomaly, or it can cause some erroneous behavior which is not according to the specification. That is, the user has already given all the specifications. When we are doing some task which is not under the specification, you can say that there is some error. Then failure. Failure is the inability of the software system to perform its required function. That is called as failure. In a single word, you can say that it is an unexpected output. Then test cases. Basically, a test is related items which contains the following informations: a set of test inputs, execution conditions, expected outputs. A test is a group of related test cases and test procedure. With some sort of inputs, and by following some sort of procedure, we are going to test. Test oracle is a document. What it will do is, it will contain some set of instruction to determine whether the test has been carried out correctly or not, whether the test is pass or fail. Then test bed. It is an environment which contains all the hardware and softwares that is needed for the software component. What it will contain is, it contains the entire environment. For example, it may have some simulators, memory checks, hardware props, software tools, and so on. Then software quality. This is another one important technical word that is used in a testing. This quality is mainly related to the system components, process, or a system. This quality means, what the quality means is, it should meet the specified requirements. That is, it should meet the user or a customer requirements or their expectations. The next technical word is quality metric. A metric is a quantitative measure or a measure of degree to which a particular system has attained all given attributes. There are some products and process metrics also. Product metrics is calculated based upon the software size, and the process metrics is calculated based upon the cost and time required to a given task. This is product and process metrics. Then quality metrics is a quantitative measurement of a degree to which an item possesses the given quality attribute. Some of the quality attributes which are considered are correctness, whether the particular software is providing all the intended functions specified by the user. Then reliability, whether the software we have developed is expected to meet all the requirement functions at a specified time under a specified condition. That is called as reliability. Usability, the effort taken by the software. That is called as usability. Integrity, how the software withstand with the external sources. That is called as integrity. Portability, portability is how the particular software is applicable, is helping to transfer from one environment to another environment. It should support to perform transformation from one environment to another environment. Maintainability, how the changes are adaptable to the existing software. That is called as maintainability. Interoperability, how the system works with linking. When we are trying to link the developed software with another external sources, how it is working well. That is called as interoperability. So these are the examples of quality attribute. Then the important technical word in software testing again is a software quality assurance group. So this group mainly ties with the quality issues. They serve as a customer representative, or we can say simply as an advocate, that is between a customer and the organization. This group will play a main role. This team of people, what they will have is, they will have necessary training and skills to ensure that all the actions taken during the software development process is right. Then review. So what is a review? Basically is a group meeting. The purpose of the group meeting is to evaluate the software artifacts, whether the software has attained all the rules, whether it is satisfying all the requirements specified by the user. All these things are reviewed in this group meeting. Test harness. So what a test harness is it is a collection of software or a test data that is configured to test a program unit by running it under various conditions and monitoring its behavior and outputs. Based upon the different environment, the particular software will be run, and we are taking the output of the different environment and we are trying with different inputs. The test execution engine and the test script repository are the two main things used in test.